Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about one of the most requested elements we have from all of the community, and that is Aaron. I'm loving the fact that accountancy looks so cool, looks much cooler than it was before. How do I get into accountancy? It's a really good question because I think it's changed a lot. I think the perception of how to become an accountant is, oh, you have to have gone to university. Oh, you had to have done all this sort of stuff, but that's completely changed. Being an accountant, bookkeeper, business advisor, being an accountant is a really worthwhile profession. So if I'm telling you it's a great profession, then really we should be letting you know how to get into it as well. So join me as we look at the options to make sure that you can be an accountant in 2024. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks Chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Boffix, and also your friendly podcaster who goes live each and every Monday morning with Ask the Accountant. Now, today's video is slightly different. We're going to be talking about all your options to get yourself into the world of accountancy. And if you're looking to become an accountant, bookkeeper, business advisor, or anything like that, then this video is for you. So first and foremost, what's the first thing we need to think about? Well, if you really want to get into the world of accountancy, you really do need to think about getting that necessary qualification. Now, there's loads of qualifications out there. You've got AAT, you've got ICB, you've got ATT, you've got ICAW, you've got ACCA. The list keeps going. And there's even more. There's a difference between practice and industry, and we can go through all those differences. But ultimately, you need to find a way to get yourself on that ladder. My personal recommendation is AAT. AAT is the gateway to everything to do with accountancy. It has a really good way of looking at all of the aspects of accountancy and bookkeeping and business advisory, but it gives you a qualification at the end of it. And best of all, there's really, really good ways to get into doing AAT, especially with apprenticeships. And my pro tip for getting yourself into a apprenticeship, well, is go talk to one of the business colleges in your local area. There are some national ones like Kaplan, but normally you'll find that those local ones will just be a little bit more accommodating for finding you a job as well. And what happens is they find you, they put you through the program, but key to all that is they're also going to be looking to find you your first job. And people like myself look into that pool of talent and we look for and try and find the best fit for our organization out of that talent. And in our firm, Boffix, we look at that each and every year with the guarantee that we're going to be taking at least one person out of that talent pool every single year. It's a really good way to be able to get your first foot into the door. Plus, AAT is a fantastic qualification that once you've gone through all the various exams and gone all through the various levels, you actually at the end of it have the opportunity to become a member in practice. What a member in practice means, it means that you can actually go out there and start your own Boffix or your own accounting firm and go and rule the world that way. Can't say it enough. My career started as becoming an AAT member, going through the qualifications, making sure there, and then I progressed to my ICAW qualification to become a chartered accountant. Not everyone needs to go all the way to chartered status. AAT is more than capable of being able to get you the best qualification, the best jobs out there, but it is a opportunity to be on that pathway to make sure that your career keeps gaining momentum. And that's what it's all about. So have a look at the world of AAT. Find a way to make sure that you can get that qualification either via an apprenticeship or self-taught, or these days there's even more opportunities than ever before to get yourself that qualification. But even starting the qualification will be a massive step in making sure that you are showing to your employer that you understand the importance of getting the right qualification for the right job, and AAT is a perfect start. So please have a look at the AAT website, go look into there, go look at our friends over at Kaplan. They've always got opportunities for you. But either way, make sure that you look into how AAT can help better your career. It doesn't have to be AAT apprenticeships and through there. You can get higher qualifications as well. So you can go to university. There are courses to do all about accounting and everything that goes with it. And you get yourself all of the qualifications through there. But most of the time, that's an opportunity for you then to go on to the professional bodies and get yourself into there. So for a lot of people, it's not the most efficient way, but if you're already going through university and you're trying to find a way to get through that, it's a really good way of being able to get those fundamental basics. Heed my warning though, most mid-tier firms, small tier firms like ourselves, we tend to be looking for people looking to the apprenticeship route because we want that raw, we want to see people with work experience that can go there. If you're going down the academic route, Majority of the time, that's going to be because you're looking to go into those bigger firms, which is not a problem. That's great career opportunity for you. But just remember, you are kind of going to be looking more favorable at the bigger firms and less favorable to smaller firms. There's always circumstances where that's not the case, but if you are looking to go to those bigger firms, academic route is sometimes a more beneficial way to get yourself a way into there. But if you're looking to go into more small and medium sized firms, to look at small and medium sized businesses, then we would always recommend an apprenticeship or AAT, self learning, something like that over the academic route. But the option's always there for you. Now, if you're someone who is looking to do mid-career, maybe you've already doing something and you're looking to become an accountant, and whatever that profession you're already in, one of the things I would highly recommend is try and get experience. At the end of the day, most people are going to be experienced in some form of business one way or another. Try and get your experience and exposure to what the accounting side looks like. Doesn't matter what profession you're in, you can always see how the accounting side will always affect it. Maybe it's how you put expenses in, maybe it's how you make sure you account for costs or whatever it's going to be. Try as much as possible to get exposure to the accounting side because that's going to be really good evidence for you. It's going to make you more relatable when it comes to trying to hone those skills into it. And especially in that interview, if you can explain to the person you're interviewing, you understood the pain points of being on the other side. You saw that how the accountant they were using was really not making it easy for them. They weren't working with them and etc. etc. right? If you can bring those stories into that environment, into the fact that when you have your job interview, you can explain that you see the bad side of what accountants can do, well, that's going to give you a good stead to understanding that there is better ways of doing it. There are better ways to communicate with clients. There are better ways to be able to grab whatever the data or whatever the pain point is going to be. I think that'll make you really, really relevant. So try as much as possible. Another thing is maybe start a little side hustle. One of the things we've found really successful with our recent intake are there people who already have a little side hustle anyway. They're doing a bit of eBay selling, they're doing a little bit of cake selling, or whatever it's going to be. They're already seeing that actually the pain points of starting that business, where it went wrong for them, what was the issues, and what were anything else. Basically, you're making yourself more relatable to any future client you're going to have a conversation with. And that's a huge asset to have. Having that relatability means you can talk to that client one to one. You can explain to them the same pain points you went through, same problems you had, and it makes it a much more relatable conversation. And if you have a relatable conversation, you start building trust. When you start building trust, you start getting better results. So I would highly recommend looking at just trying to gain experience in the world of accountancy outside of being an accountant, bookkeeper, or business advisor. Have a look at trying to see the pain points. If nothing else, go over to the QuickBooks, Sages, and Zero Worlds and start taking the qualifications that are there. Start becoming a actual qualified user of those softwares. Because if you can show to someone in that conversation, in that interview, that you actually already know what software you like and what you don't like, and have an opinion on it, talk about how amazing QuickBooks is, yet Zero is rubbish. That's going to give you an opportunity to spark a conversation. You got to be careful because you want to be making sure you're talking to a QuickBooks practice, not a Zero practice at that point. But anyway, whichever way it is, have that conversation. And working with those softwares, gaining that exposure to there will put you way ahead of the competition and give you an opportunity to really shine when he's looking to get that first job. Sometimes coming at it as an opportunity to really talk about a particular niche can be really powerful. We've had people who've come along before who already understand, say, the reselling world, or already understand that because their dad works in the farms, that they've got a real good farming related. Having that niche element, being able to kind of bring that to the table, making sure you explain that, and again, talk about those pain points that those people might have, will make you a massive opportunity to be able to really go into this and think about what's right for you. I absolutely love hearing those stories myself when I'm having interviews. It makes those interviews far more enjoyable for the person doing the interview because we get to have those proper conversations and we get to really dig deep. And if you can show your appreciation for that niche and you can show that you understand their problems and everything else, then you become a real asset. And it shows that you understand the whole process from start to finish. So please use this opportunity to make sure that you have an opportunity to push your best foot forward, show what you're passionate about, and I promise you will go far. This next one is something I wish I did sooner. Build a professional network. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it's going to be. There's communities everywhere. Join some of the communities, get involved, understand Question why people are asking questions. Just be involved in that communities, and you'll see some of the pain points that us accountants are facing this problem. You bring those conversations to that interview, if you bring those conversations to your first job, you're going to be able to see a lot bigger results a lot sooner. So get involved in the network, start reaching out, start listening to podcasts. It's a great one called Ask the Accountant, goes live 8:30 a.m. every single Monday morning. But that gives you an opportunity to be on the pulse of exactly what's happening in the world of accounting. They're the sort of things that will set you ahead and set you above anyone else that you're in competition with when it comes to those interviews. And more importantly, if you go and start that first day, first week of your job, you can go in already having these predefined expectations of what's going on in the industry, what you think is going to happen, what you believe is right or wrong. You'll be able to make sure that you actually hit the ground running when it comes to starting your accounting career. And don't forget to have a really strong CV. Concentrate on that CV of talking about times in which you will be able to relate to small businesses, especially if you're going into a practice like ours. Have an opportunity to go into that CV, not just showing your academic results, which is going to be great and going to be wonderful, but try and show the fact that you understand how small businesses are. Empathy is such a huge part of being an accountant, bookkeeping, or business advisor. Empathy is where you decide that you want to help these small businesses for a reason. The reason is because you want to do better for them. You feel like they're not getting a good enough service. You feel like they're not being given the information they should be. That's what makes a great accountant, is that empathy of why are we doing it in the first place? Why do we worry about putting all this together? If it's just to file VAT returns and make sure that compliance tick your box, great. But that's not going to get you an opportunity to really push yourself going forward. So make sure you've got a really strong CV. Explain how you're involved in these networks. Explain how you went to Accountex, for example. Explain where you went to some of the other conferences out there. Get involved and show that on the CV. That's going to be the best thing. And my big pro tip going forward is a paper CV is great. A video CV is even better. Put a camera in front of you. Tell us your story. Tell us why you want to be an accountant. Show the passion for what it is that wants you to become this great profession. Giving us this passion is great on paper, but it's even better when we can see the reds of your eyes when you're telling us these stories. That's what makes a great accountant these days. Having the opportunity to talk to one another like this, like you would with a client future down the line. These are the stories that I believe are the ones that will make you an absolutely amazing accountant. So here's your opportunity. Go out there, figure it out, build your network. Go look at what qualifications you want to do. Go and look at making sure you've got yourself that QuickBooks or Zero qualification as well. At least have an opportunity to go to some of these conferences and just build up that opportunity to understand. Don't forget, we have a podcast each and every Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. to give you all the insights you'll need. And I promise you, from now on in, you will become an amazing accountant. My name's been Aaron Patrick. If you've liked this in any possible way, put a little comment down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.